morning, folks, or good afternoon. How's everybody doing today? Great. Now, I'm here, your main guy, your main teacher, right? The coolest coach of all. I'm your coach, your teacher, your therapist, and your counselor, Professor R. And we're back again with a man's guide to success. Why? Brought to you by a man's guide to success. Now, let's talk about a few things. Okay, for example, we have some things that need to be discussed. Just some questions. Are you adventurous? What do you know about your partner? What do you think of yourself when you're with your partner? Do you know your partner? Do you know what type of relationship you see yourself with your partner? Do you know what it is to be adventurous? Do you know your partner's sign? Do you know your partner's color? What stone, gem she likes to wear, or he or she? Do you exercise? Are you open to talk, communication? Are you secure with your finances? Let's ask about knowing your partner. How do you know your partner? What have you noticed about your partner that changed? See, men say they know their partner, but do you really know your partner? Do you know what they do with their time off or why they're at work? Do you know if they eat a certain time of day or have to change their day and when they eat? Do you know them? What do you know about them? Men, ask yourself this question. Do you really know your partner? Because at some point, you have to know who your partner is. Now, Sarah and Abraham. Abraham built a covenant with Sarah because the Lord wanted Sarah later on was given a promise. The promise to have Isaac. Isaac was the son of Abraham and Sarah. It said that in Genesis 26 that Abraham was given to help out with a nation, but he became the father of many. Sarah was promised a child, she was older at her age. She grew older. Now, Abraham knew his partner, which was Sarah. But do you know your partner? You're not an Abraham or Sarah, but you have to know your partner. In order to understand who you are with your partner, you must first listen to what your partner is sharing with you. That's how you know your partner. Don't let years go by. Are you listening to your partner? That's the number one key. Listening to your partner. Is your partner talking about something they like? Have support number two. Support their decision. Make sure their decision is supported, because as a man, you must support a woman's daily decision. Another thing, the thing about understanding your partner is making sure your ears are not hard of hearing, which means you know what your partner's thinking. That's the third thing. Know what your partner's thinking by hearing exactly what your partner's trying to tell you. Men, you must do this. In order for you to understand your partner fully, you got to know what they're hearing and what they're thinking. They're telling you that's what they're thinking, then that's what they're thinking. Another thing, man, what do you know about your women? What have you noticed the changes in them? Have you noticed there was any changes? The time they eat, what they're putting in their bodies? If women are changing their time, it's because they're eating at the time that their bodies are telling them. Know your woman's body. Two, when she changes her time, that means her pH balance is changing with that. Her metabolism is going up and is at a different rate. Man, you gotta remember, you gotta understand who your woman is and what you know about women. Notice their change in habit, their change in eating, change in environment. Man, we gotta know, you have to know who your woman is, or someone else will. I know that's truth, you don't want to hear it, but I have to tell you, it's important to know who your woman is, because knowing about your woman is very vital, very key. Write that down, the things you notice in her daily activities. If she changed her time when she eat, if she eat at this time, If she's at work, getting up, she's getting dressed, what time she gets dressed. This is all very important in a marriage and in a relationship. Relationships start with knowing key things about your partner. The more you know about your partner, know about women, the less likely stress you will have later on throughout your marriage and throughout your relationship. You will know the key things about your partner. Another thing, do you know yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you have enough love for yourself, or do you love yourself? Ask yourself that question as a man. Do you love yourself? Self is very important. Taking care of what's inside your body, what you put in it, how you look at it, how you think, how you talk, how you treat. Everything a woman sees in you. This is your mental health. Your mental health goes with your body as a man. Remember, remind yourself, if you're a father, be a father. Know things about your kids, do activities. Find little things like pro dads. Pro dads is a good site to go to for fathers. Pro dads will give you tips and pro advice about being a father. Learn good things that fathers do. You're a father? Great. Because being a father is a wonderful gift. Another thing, do you see yourself in a relationship? Now that's a good question. Do you see yourself with the person you're with? Men, do you see yourself with the person you're with? Do you see yourself with a woman? But you can see yourself in a long-term relationship. You're wondering why I asked that, because sometimes we question certain things women do. But you gotta remember, do you see yourself with this woman despite what's going on with her mental state, her body, changes she make in her body? Over time, did she eat a certain, are you okay with her being that way? Do you want to help that woman? Do you see yourself in the long term or short term? Do you see yourself, talking to her in the long term? Do you see yourself loving this woman, expressing that love, showing consideration for the things she do for you? Do you see yourself with that? You got to ask yourself these questions, gentlemen. Another thing, being adventurous. It means being open-minded to new things. Like, for example, going to the gym, working out, going on a trip, planning the trip, going on a safari, going to the zoo. Do little things as a man that can bring joy to a relationship. Being adventurous is very important. That means you're being open to anything she does. If she's cool, you'll say, have a game night. Get some games and, things that will cheer a woman, do activities, fun activities, walking together, going to the beach, traveling to different places. You don't need it. You can have a little small amount of money, go somewhere and eat, where it's an outing, where you see like people are sitting there, go there too. Be willing to do that. Are you secure with your finances? Men, make sure your finances is intact, because you gotta help her 100% of the time with finances. Get a book like this called The Power of Numbers. That way you'll know a woman's sign. What number is she? You know her birthday. Ask her her birthday. But get this book. It's a great resource. Men, I advise you to get this book. When you get this book, it helps you with the conversation. Be able to hold a nice conversation. This is something to talk about. I know these are things to talk about with women. Women like things that are spiritual, because spirituality helps a woman understand who you are mentally. I'm telling you, the communication will open wide. Gentlemen, get this book. I'm saying these things to you because I'm teaching you the tools of having a great marriage or a great relationship. Great relationships start off with a healthy mind, which means you have to have a solid foundation. A solid foundation starts with your mind. Your mind is the foundation. Then your body. Whatever the mind does, the body will follow. That means your body will go along with whatever your mind does. Explore some new things about yourself. Change the way you dress. Change the way you talk. Change the way you look at things you do Evaluate, examine your mind. Wherever you're going in life, change the direction of how you're looking at life. Evaluate what's around you, who's around you, why you have them there, the people you're hanging around, the kind of crowd you're around, the influences, what you're listening to. Get rid of all the distractions. Get rid of all the distractions. Read more. Read materials, resources. Do whatever you got to do to improve on yourself. Because women like men that improve on themselves. They like things that men bring to them, which is value. Women like things that uplift them or encourage them. Encouragement is very important for a woman. She likes to see that a man can encourage her. What he brings to her through her day when she's going through things. How do you talk to her? How do you treat her? It's very important, man, that you, as a man, need to figure out what it is that a woman is trying to tell you. Be very attentive. Be understanding. Spend time with them to see what they like to do. If they like makeup, what type of makeup? What she like about the makeup? Spend time knowing that, then you will have a better and healthy relationship. Man, I'm telling you this for a reason. You can't spend too much time just you doing the things you do, and you wondering why she's not talking to you, why she's separating herself, why she's talking to a friend, because she see you're not adding joy or entertainment. Entertain your wife. Do something you never done before. Go outside your comfort zone. Do something that makes her want you. The more she thinks about you, even at work, fix her lunch before she goes to work. You know, cook a little meal the night before and then say, hey honey, put it in her, put it in her lunch. Do these little things. These small things matter to a woman. The small things matter because it shows that you value her and only her. If other women see you treat that woman that way, then the other one will be drawn to you because it will make you look more attractive because your personality. Another thing, personality is a big thing with women. You got to know how to magnify, which means you got to elevate your game to where a woman is drawn to you, that she's thinking about you while she's at work or with her friends. Oh, she talks about you to her friends. That's the value of a man. That's the stability of a man. That's the foundation of a man's core. To have your woman who you live with for day in and day out, gets out of bed, doing these things, to be in your direction, thinking about you while you're in and out from work. Listen, men, it's important to have your wife or your girlfriend, significant other, your spouse thinking about you. Because it builds value, it builds character, it builds things. You got to know who you are with your girlfriend or wife, whoever that may be. You got to know who you are as men. Because sometimes we forget that we're not by ourselves. We're here. We have to be there with our significant other because they bring joy to us. Our kids bring sunshine to us. They bring joy, man. Remember, your woman brings joy to you. You got to appreciate who she is. Make sure you appreciate her because at some point, it's just going to be you and her. It's just you and her. Men, it's just you and her as one. You cleave to her, which means you're one bone, one flesh, which means you're one, sown in the eyes of the Maker. The Creator knows you. So if you're in the eyes of the Maker, one bone, flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone, that's what Adam was saying because the Lord made him one flesh. And you, as a man in Genesis, he made him one flesh. You got to remember this. This is a key concept, gentlemen, to talk to a woman to keep the conversation from dying. Build romance. Romance builds finance, which means if you're romantic, your finances will build. It will build. It will be like a build because the Maker will start building on things that he processes. He will build on that, create that together, and it become a nucleus, which means you become one in one body. in one mind, in one spirit. That way be a baptism up to Him, because you're a living water, which means your water is in your body. So you're one with the one, that the Maker, and He made you for this as men. That's how He made us. But you have to own up to it or be responsible for it, because you obtain it. We all obtain it. But as men, we gotta be responsible for who we are. Our own. We each have a different conduct. We have to be a part of that conduct. And the only way that's going to happen, gentlemen, is that you got to know who you are with your spouse or your wife. You can't let another human being or man get involved in your space, in your foundation, in your covenant, in your union with your wife. Because once, ladies, same for you, don't let no other woman get in your space of your covenant as one man and woman. Don't let that come apart, because once that tears apart and then someone gets in there, then she's replaced you. Now the Lord set her in place, in position to take that relationship over. Remember, marriage is a union between a man and a woman. That's a contract, an agreement with the Maker. So in order for men, remember that. Look in Genesis. Look at what Genesis speaks about. Building a covenant. Building a covenant with your Maker. The only way that's going to happen, you got to understand who your Maker is and who you are with Him, in order for your relationship to be stable, to build a foundation. So your household will be managed right. Your kids will grow up right, because there's two in the household. It's a two-parent household, so you got to take part in that. And the only way that's going to happen, if you manage the household, if you share the load, take the load off of her. You each take the load, and to build a household will be built up, because now the household is secure. So there will be no insecurities or anything coming into the household to make you be discouraged or have doubt or fear or anxiety. All that will be gone, because now you have someone who balances you, who gives you that joy and of less fear, that you won't be insecure about who you are with this human being that you sleep with in the bed every day. Just remember that, right? So, gentlemen, examine yourselves. Love yourself, have faith and hope. This is Professor R. I'll see you in the next video. Shabbat shalom.